2025 is shaping up to be an incredible year for gaming. But sometimes, the best experiences are the ones we've already had. Today, we're diving into 10 unforgettable single-player games you need to relive in 2025. First up on the list at number 10 is Enslaved. Odyssey to the West, Ninja Theory's 2010 gem. Loosely inspired by Journey to the West, your monkey, a bruiser enslaved by tech-savvy runaway, Trip in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by mechs. The story's a road trip through lush ruins, blending action with a slow-burn bond between the duo. Gameplay's a mix of Monkey's brutal combat, smashing robots with his staff, and platforming across vines and crumbling towers. Trip's tech skills complement your brawn, creating teamwork moments that feel organic. The world's a standout. Overgrown cities and vibrant skies, paired with a soulful score, make every vista pop. Andy Serkis as Monkey and Lindsay Shaw as Trip deliver mocap and voice work that's pure emotion. It's not perfect. Combat can get repetitive, but the journey's heart shines through. In 2025, Enslaved is a sleeper hit worth revisiting on PC or older consoles. Its 10-hour tale is a solo adventure that balances spectacle and intimacy. Relive it for the feels and that unforgettable ending. Number 9. We've got Gears of War, the 2006 masterpiece that redefined third-person shooters. Developed by Epic Games, this gritty sci-fi epic throws you into the boots of Marcus Phoenix, a gruff soldier fighting to save humanity from the monstrous locust horde on the war-ravaged planet of Sarah. The campaign is a roller coaster of intense firefights, emotional gut punches, and some of the most satisfying cover-based combat ever made. Who could forget the first time they revved up that Lancer's chainsaw bayonet? It's visceral, it's brutal, and it's unforgettable. The story follows Marcus and his squad, Delta, as they uncover dark secrets about the Locust and their own world. The pacing is relentless, with cinematic set pieces, like the KRYLO-infested night mission, that still hold up today. The voice acting, especially John DiMaggio as Marcus, adds a layer of grit and heart that pulls you in. And let's talk about that atmosphere. The muted color palette, the crumbling cities, the constant sense of dread. It's a vibe that's begging to be relived in 2025. Sure, the graphics might feel a bit dated, but the remastered Ultimate Edition on modern platforms sharpens things up while keeping that raw energy intact. Whether you're a veteran gear or a newbie, this is a solo experience that hits hard. In 2025, with rumors of the franchise's future swirling, there's no better time to revisit where it all began. So grab a friend for co-op if you want. But trust me, the single-player journey alone is worth every bullet. Number 8 is Singularity, a 2010 gem from Raven Software that's criminally underrated. Imagine a mashup of BioShock and Half-Life 2, but with time travel thrown into the mix. You play as Nate Renko, a US soldier sent to investigate Katorga 12, a derelict Soviet research island where experiments with Element 99, E99, went horribly wrong. The result? A twisted sci-fi thriller where past and present collide, and you're stuck in the middle. The star here is the Time Manipulation Device, or TMD. Want to age a soldier into dust, rewind a crumbled bridge into existence, turn enemies into grotesque mutants? The TMD lets you bend reality in ways that feel both creative and chaotic. Pair that with solid FPS gunplay and a creepy, atmospheric world. Think rusted labs, flickering time rifts, and monstrous creatures. And you've got a single-player ride that's pure adrenaline. The story's got twists too, bouncing between 1955 and 2010 as you unravel a conspiracy that could rewrite history. Singularity's setting is a standout. The Cold War aesthetic, the unsettling Soviet propaganda, the sense of isolation. It's a time capsule begging for a 2025 revisit. The voice acting and writing lean in a B-movie charm, but it works, making every eerie moment stick with you. Sure, it flew under the radar back then, overshadowed by bigger titles, but that's why it's ripe for rediscovery now. With no remaster yet, it's still playable on older consoles or PC, and its ideas feel ahead of their time. In 2025, take a trip to Katorga 12. Mess with time, fight the horrors, and see why Singularity deserves a spot in your gaming lineup. Number 7 is Spec Ops, The Line, a 2012 masterpiece from Jaeger Development that turns the military shooter on its head. You're Captain Martin Walker, sent to a sandstorm-ravaged Dubai to extract a missing colonel. What starts as a routine mission spirals into a psychological nightmare inspired by Heart of Darkness. This isn't about glory. It's about choices, consequences, and the cost of war. The gameplay is a solid mix of cover-based shooting and squad tactics, with sandstorms adding chaos to the firefights. But the real hook is the story. Moments like the white phosphorus scene, where you're forced to confront the horror of your actions, hit harder than most games dare. The visuals, with Dubai's skyscrapers buried in golden dunes, are stunningly bleak, and the voice acting, Nolan North as Walker, sells every ounce of despair. By the end, you're questioning who the real enemy is. In 2025, Spec Ops, The Line deserves a replay for its unflinching narrative and timeless questions about morality in games. It's not a feel-good romp. It's a haunting experience that lingers. Still playable on PC or older consoles, it's a must for anyone who loves a story that challenges them. Relive it, and see if you'd make the same choices again. Next at 6 is Fahrenheit, Indigo Prophecy, a 2005 cult classic from Quantic Dream. Before Heavy Rain, David Cage gave us this cinematic thriller where you're Lucas Kane, a man who blacks out and wakes up next to a murder he doesn't remember committing. What follows is a genre-bending mix of supernatural mystery, detective work, and paranoia. The gameplay is a wild ride. Think quick-time events, dialogue choices, and controlling multiple characters, from Lucas to the cops chasing him. It's less about combat and more about tension, with every decision shaping the story. The opening diner scene sets the tone. Hide the body or flee. The pacing's frantic, jumping between quiet moments and over-the-top action, all backed by a moody score. Sure, the third act goes off the rails with ancient prophecies and rooftop kung fu, but that's part of its charm. The graphics are dated, but the atmosphere, New York in a snowy, eerie winter, still pulls you in. In 2025, Fahrenheit is worth revisiting for its bold ideas and as a snapshot of interactive storytelling's evolution. Available on PC or emulated on older systems, it's a quirky, unforgettable solo trip. Dive back in and see if you can unravel Lucas's fate. Number 5 is Ōkami, Clover Studios' 2006 masterpiece that's pure art in motion. You play as Amaterasu, a sun goddess reborn as a white wolf, on a quest to save Nippon from darkness. This isn't just a game, it's a love letter to Japanese mythology and ink-wash painting, brought to life with a jaw-dropping art style that still looks timeless. The celestial brush is the star. Paint to slash enemies, bloom flowers, or summon wind. It's a mechanic as creative as it is satisfying. The world's a sprawling canvas of forests, mountains, and villages, packed with secrets and charm. Combat's fluid, exploration's a joy, and the story blends humor with epic stakes, all narrated by the quirky Isen. From battling Orochi to restoring life to a cursed land, every moment feels mythical. In 2025, Ōkami's HD remaster on modern platforms makes it a no-brainer to relive. Its 40-hour journey is a slow burn of beauty and wonder, perfect for solo players who crave something unique. The soundtrack, traditional Japanese instruments meets orchestral swells, is a vibe all its own. Revisit it to remember why it's a legend. Fourth on the list is Alpha Protocol, Obsidian Entertainment's 2010 spy RPG that's rough around the edges, but brimming with ambition. You're Michael Thornton, a rookie agent betrayed by his own agency, globetrotting to uncover a conspiracy. This is Mass Effect meets James Bond, with a twist. Your choices actually matter. The gameplay's a mix of stealth, shooting, and RPG depth. Customize your skills, pistols, gadgets, martial arts, and watch missions play out differently. But the real magic is the dialogue system. Every conversation shapes alliances, enemies, and outcomes. Charm a Russian mobster, double-cross a handler, or go full rogue. It's up to you. The story's a web of espionage, with memorable characters like the eccentric Stephen Heck stealing scenes. Sure, the combat's clunky and the graphics are dated, but the freedom keeps you hooked. In 2025, Alpha Protocol is a cult classic worth replaying for its branching paths and replayability. Recently delisted but still findable on PC or old consoles, it's a solo gem that rewards bold decisions. Pick it up and see how many endings you can unlock. Number 3 is Bulletstorm, a 2011 over-the-top shooter from People Can Fly in Epic Games that's pure, unfiltered fun. You're Grayson Hunt, a wisecracking space mercenary crash-landed on the hostile planet Stygia. This isn't your average FPS. It's a playground of creative chaos. The skillshot system rewards you for stylish kills. Kick an enemy into a cactus, leash them into the air, blast them with a drill. It's a blood-soaked carnival. The campaign's a wild ride with Grayson and his cyborg pal Ishii tearing through mutants and mercenaries. The weapons, like the flail gun that chains enemies together, are as ridiculous as they are satisfying. The dialogue's packed with crude humor, delivered with gusto by Steve Bloom's gravelly voice. Visually, Stygia's ruined resorts and neon-lit carnage pop off the screen, while the pacing keeps you hooked with bombastic set pieces. Sure, the story's thin, but it's all about the thrill. In 2025, Bulletstorm deserves a replay for its sheer audacity. The full clip edition on modern platforms buffs up the visuals and adds Duke Nukem as a playable character for extra absurdity. It's a solo romp that doesn't take itself seriously, perfect for blowing off steam. Relive the carnage and see how many skill shots you can rack up. In number 2, let's talk Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, the 2003 noir classic from Remedy Entertainment. If you thought the first game was dark, this sequel cranks the melancholy to 11. You're back as Max, a broken ex-cop drowning in guilt, now tangled in a web of betrayal, love, and bullets. The story picks up with Max investigating a string of murders, only to reunite with Mona Sachs, a femme fatale with her own demons. What follows is a tale so steeped in tragedy, it could have been ripped from a graphic novel. Which, fittingly, it kinda is, thanks to its iconic comic-style cutscenes. The gameplay? Pure poetry in motion. The bullet time mechanic, slowing down time as Max dives through the air, guns blazing, still feels as fresh and empowering as it did back then. Pair that with tight gunplay and moody level design, and you've got a masterclass in action storytelling. Every shootout feels like a dance, every line of Max's gravelly narration dripping with existential dread. The soundtrack, with its haunting cello riffs, ties it all together into a cinematic experience that's pure noir bliss. In 2025, Max Payne 2 deserves a replay for its atmosphere alone. The snowy streets of New York, the rain-soaked warehouses, the flickering lights. It's a vibe that modern games rarely capture. And with Remedy teasing new projects tied to their universe, revisiting Max's world feels timely. It's not a long game, but it's dense with emotion and replayable chaos. So dim the lights, crank the volume, and lose yourself in Max's pain all over again. You won't regret it. Finally, at number 1, we've got Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, Ubisoft's 2003 classic that redefined platforming. You're the prince, a cocky royal who accidentally unleashes the sands of time, turning his kingdom into a nightmare. Armed with the dagger of time, you're parkouring through palaces, rewinding mistakes, and fighting sand creatures alongside the fierce Farah. The time rewind mechanic is a game changer. Screw up a jump? Just undo it. It's forgiving yet empowering, paired with fluid acrobatics that still feel smooth. Wall running, swinging, and vaulting are pure joy. The puzzles are clever, the combat's scrappy, and the chemistry between the prince and Farah adds heart to the adventure. The visuals, a golden Arabian Nights vibe, hold a nostalgic charm, and Jake Gyllenhaal's narration, in spirit, ties it together. In 2025, with a remake on the horizon, revisiting the original on PC or emulators is a treat. Its tight 8 to 10 hour run is perfect for a weekend replay, reminding us why it spawned Trilogy. The sand still flows strong. Jump back in and relive the magic. And there you have it, 10 unforgettable single-player games to relive in 2025. From the chainsaw chaos of Gears of War to the emotional trek of Enslaved. These classics prove solo gaming's timeless power. Whether it's revisiting Sarah's battlefields, painting with Ōkami's brush, or rewinding time in Prince of Persia, each one offers something special. Which one's calling you back? Drop it in the comments below. If you love this trip down memory lane, smash that like button. It helps us out a ton. subscribe, and hit the bell for more gaming goodness, because we've got plenty more where this came from. Thanks for watching, keep those controllers charged, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy gaming. And remember, we are GamesPedia EX, your AI favorite video game source. I'll be back.